Hi, I'm Peter Birch. This week we're going to poke around in my collection and look at some of the cool stuff I'm working with. Welcome to CrittaCam. As a reptile guy, you can understand nothing gets me more excited than this time of the year when we get eggs. And in particular, I love pythons and I love them lots. But I also have other things, including lizards. Today we're going to have a look around and see some of my different things that I'm working on. But in particular, we're here in my python room with my Antaresia. I love Antaresia, and I mean, for most people they are small, brown, boring snakes, but for me, in particular, they're pretty cool animals. I love them. And this time of the year, we're getting things like this. Clutches of eggs from this beautiful critter like here. Look at this girl. She's absolutely an amazing little critter. She's got a nice clutch of eggs in there. We can see them. And just like we did with the carpet python, we're going to remove her off the eggs so then we can look at them. It looks like there's a few slugs in there, so we need to get those slugs out. And today we're actually going to try and remove those slugs because they're stuck in the clutch right there. Well, there they go. And I mean, for a small python, they can definitely pump out a few eggs. Look at that. There's quite a few right there. And as always, we quickly give the girl a check because we don't want to leave anything behind. And I mean, yeah, she looks a bit sunken. She definitely needs a bit of food. So a little bit later on today, we'll give her some tucker. Try and get some weight back on her as quickly as possible. But look at that clutch of eggs. That is pretty cool right there. So you can see there's a couple of slugs, like we said last time. They're discoloured and slightly different shaped, and you can see the size difference in these guys straight away. Now, with some very careful work, we can slowly manipulate the eggs around to remove those slugs, just like that. That's the stuff we don't want in our clutch. There's another one right up here. Oh, luckily enough, it didn't adhere. And typically that's what happens with the slugs. They don't stick to the really good viable eggs. Look at the rest of that clutch there. There's a nice, solid mass of eggs. That's pretty damn good, especially for a small snake. I mean, we'll go through and quickly number them so I can see exactly how many eggs we've got. She's put in a magnificent effort here. And I mean, probably the most exciting part of the season is where you get these little eggs. I mean, 60 days, sometimes about 55. These things are going to crack open. Some cool looking stuff's going to crawl out. And you think it's bad now, you wait till hatchling season happens and you've got all these cool little babies hanging around. So difficult to pick which ones you want to keep, which ones you're going to let go. But, whoa. That's a nice size clutch right there. Now, believe it or not, I don't know what your guess is, but it's 15 beautiful viable eggs and 4 not so viable eggs. Some 4 dodgy looking things that we need to get rid of. That's pretty cool. Now, using these particular boxes, they sit pretty high, especially with a cluster of eggs like this. And sometimes we need to break the mass down a bit just to get them inside the box. Or sometimes we just go and get a different size box, a little bit more room on top, and we can get that clutch in there. I mean, in days past, I've always separated clutches of eggs. And I mean, it's just a mindset, I think, more than anything else. But if you ever get an egg that's a little bit dodgy and is going to go off, it's going to affect the rest of the clutch pretty quickly. I'm pretty envious of the guys that breed a lot of the bigger snakes. I've been able to play with their clutches of eggs and even had a few of my own olives and carpets lay clutches, and I tell you what, separating the bigger snake eggs is a lot easier than separating these little things. And this absolutely gets your heart racing because you're so scared you're going to tear that egg. And the worst part is if you do tear an egg on top, it'll explode, and all the goop that comes out of that egg, that one egg that you've destroyed, will infect all the other eggs below. And theoretically you're going to lose a lot more than one egg. So if you don't really need to, you don't really need to pull them apart like that. But with a bit of patience, you can slowly but gradually break the whole clutch down and remove the eggs. But it typically looks like it's delaminating the eggshells, which is giving the ability for any bacteria to get inside there. But like I said, these egg trays are pretty cool. We can just break them down, or we can just leave them like that and just stick them right inside the egg, like that. Suspended method, so they're off the ground, off the substrate as such, sitting on this nice little rack. You put the lid on, the humidity builds up, giving those eggs 100% humidity, allowing them to absorb the exact amount of moisture they need. And for me as a python breeder, that's cool, that's exciting. I'm going to stick a label on it, as you know, like I do, with all the details, and I'm going to drop it into the incubator. 55 to 60 days, going to see some cool stuff. I guess as a true reptile guy, I like all different types of reptiles, not just snakes, in particular in pythons, but I also like lizards. For me, in the last couple of years, what's really grabbed my eye are these beautiful knobtail geckos. I mean, they're absolutely amazing, and the colours that we can get out of them is pretty damn cool as well. It's that time of the year, and some of these little girls, just like this one, are full of eggs, and they're digging, looking for somewhere to deposit their eggs. Now, I guess one of the things that it comes back to with reptiles, I like them because I like them. It doesn't matter about money. And that's something hard that most people think about, is sometimes you've got to make money. Well, yeah, you do got to make money to finance different things, but all that money goes back into the animals, which gives them a better lifestyle. Here we've got another girl that's just deposited a clutch of eggs right down here in the bottom of the box. We're going to dig them out, set them up. To help excavate the eggs, I just use my beautiful little egg spoon here. It's nothing too flash, but it helps me get all that sand away and get pretty close. It's almost excavating for some pretty cool stuff. And I mean, archaeologists and paleontologists use tools to dig their little goodies up, and I'm doing exactly the same. And basically all I do is just move the sand away from the top of the eggs, just like that. Now the eggs are exposed, and then I use my fingers, because the fingers are the best thing to be able to feel the eggs, and just basically get around them, pick them up without trying to rotate them, and then we're going to put them in a little incubation container, stick them in the incubator and let them cook at about 29 to 30 degrees. That way it ensures we get a nice good sex ratio, and at about 55 days they should hatch with some beautiful little knobtail geckos. Now, one of the most amazing things for me about this particular species is the diversity of colour. And yes, we've done shows previously about different colours and patterns, and I mean, there are some absolutely spectacular things happening with these beautiful little creatures, and you can understand why people are attracted to them because of those colours. They're just beautiful little critters all around. Another type of gecko that I've fallen in love with in the last couple of years are these beautiful northern velvet geckos, the Adura castanui. They have this amazing ability to climb smooth surfaces. They're one of those particular species of geckos that can climb just about anything and everything. Now, the knobtail geckos that we looked at earlier are strictly a terrestrial animal. If not, they like to dig and have burrows and stuff like that. These guys like to hide under bark, in trees, in hollows, and all sorts of cool stuff. And for that reason, I think they're really fascinating. They're very nimble. They can just jump like that and run away, which is pretty cool. And we're lucky enough today, these guys have also dropped a little clutch of eggs, the same as the other guys. They have two. And we have a similar situation here, but what we use for these guys is a nesting box with some sphagnum and peat moss mixture in there. That enables them to dig down in there, deposit their eggs. It's just like a broken down branch or mulch and leaf litter and stuff. It helps them to feel a little bit more at home. They dig down to the bottom and they'll deposit the eggs down the bottom right down here. And there again, I like to use my fingers for these guys. And right there are the eggs. Two beautiful little eggs. And I mean, they're quite small eggs in comparison to the size of the animal. And when these guys hatch, the babies are quite small too. We've got a little baby that's just hatched not long ago. We can have a look at that guy. But these guys are quite cool. There again, we'll put them in the same sort of container, the THG containers that we use for the geckos. And we'll put them in the incubator, same temperature, about 29 to 30 degrees Celsius. And we let them cook. In around about 60 days, these guys hatch. And there again, they're absolutely drop-dead gorgeous little creatures. And for me, I think it's really fascinating watching these animals move about their enclosure, running up branches, leaping across, For me, I find that quite amazing. And that's the part that I really find entertaining, and if not exciting as a reptile keeper, is watching and observing these animals. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's show, poking around in my collection, looking at some of the stuff I'm working with. Luckily enough, we found a few clutches of eggs. At this time of the year, it's inevitable we're going to find a few. Please leave a comment below. Let me know what your part of the show that you liked the most was. Until next time, make sure you hit us up on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Thanks for watching CrittaCam.